Ага, значит, everybody, мы пришли в аквариум с Тамарой Васильевной.
Так дальше надо и продолжать, как начали.
И мы сейчас зайдем inside. А рядышком с нами, как я вам и рассказывал, вот, за нами та прославленная гора, которой мы любовались, которой мы с нашего апартмента смотрели, где мы живем в гостинице. И недалеко совсем аквариум. Я обещал вам, что мы сюда придем, вернемся. Вот мы здесь. Помашите ручкой, Тамара Васильевна. Алоха, алоха, алоха.
Hey, what's this?
Something pretty big. Nemo's on this side.
Which one, Nemo? Nemo's on the other side.
And the one on that side. Yeah, this now was it. Oh, yeah.
Ой, какие голубенькие. Был цветок, превратился в коралл.
But he's happy there, so he doesn't come out.
And Papa, then you saw it that way, then you shrink.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Прячется, да, немножко? Ну ты впереди камеры не лезь, Томочка, потому что мне же ничего не видно.
Yes. I do. I love it. Look at all these species. Look at all of them.
I'm not sure about this one. And they gave it, somebody gave it to him 20.
And it's from Kalakaua Bay on the island of Oahu. Nowhere else in the world. In the 1960s, there were around 500 of these animals per meter squared. More recent studies made in the last year.
Coral. Let's see. What kind of coral is that? It might be this coral that's growing out of the rocks here. That and that. Does it look kind of like it? I don't know. I can't tell.
They're kind of pink.
No.
No.
Those things are weird looking.
Коралловая медуза.
Zebra shark.
Profile picture.
Yes.
So it's good Tyler.
Туна. Шаркс. 2, 3, 4 шаркса. А то туна. И еще кое-какие рыбы.
Yeah, it's got little eyes right there. That's it. It's got little eyeballs.
Это с насадкой берут, потому она захватывается. На самом деле она очень больших размеров. И насадка вот захватила от начала до конца. Показывает нам, какой хребет у акулы. Вот она.
Aiden, come.
Таких ловят. Конек-горбунек по-нашему. По-морскому не знаю. Но все эти представленные нам здесь животные, растительный мир и все животный мир, подводный океан, все превращается впоследствии в кораллы. Если их развести миллионами, они как раз запруживают океан и превращаются из судоходного места, становится опасное место. Место судоходного опасное.
What, sweetheart? You like? Do you want to listen to this one? Это вот что мы видим, да? В таких камнях простых. Сейчас дождемся. Такая красота вообще.
I think so. Nobody here.
Успел?
Тома, подожди, не попадай в кадр. Самая большая ракушка, которую я видел вообще в мире, и, наверное, у них самая большая. Тома, отойди оттуда. Тома, please. И вот теперь вам внутреннюю часть. Но это большая насадка, и потому вы видите, вроде бы как вместилась. Она очень большая. И вот вам внутри. Но представьте себе, если там еще и жемчужина была внутри, какая будет и жемчужина, если такая громадная раковина. Вот представьте себе, с человеческим ростом, если сравнить, вот так она выглядит.
Вот эти ежи.
А вон форели какие-то, смотри, сколько их. Это то, что мы видим. Вот эту мы видим постоянно возле берега.
Селедка.
Селедочка такая, да.
Это селедка.
А вон какая красивая полосатая, смотри.
А что тут фиолетовое?
Вот желтая, которую ты видела, Томочка.
Да, вот такую.
Вот
да,
такую
да,
ты
да.
видела. Ну, короче, а я даже не удивлюсь, если это соленая вода здесь.
А он что такое за осьминог?
Да, красная, я еще издалека видел.
Опс.
Вода чистая-чистая. Вот смотри, какая красивая, полосатенькая тоже. Толстушка, смотри, какая толстушка важная. Ой, какая важная. Просит, чтобы пищу. Руками показано не трогать, а пищу просит.
Я испугалась.
А руками здесь нельзя ничего трогать.
Well, it's the announcement. It's not their fault. I'm out here.
Тома, только руками ничего не трогай. А вот и здесь. Краб.
Hermit crab, yep.
Мини-краб.
Hermit crab
А, да.
in English.
Beautiful. Что она когда по руке лазила? Щекотала, да? Непонятно ничего, да? Вот желтенькие, смотри. Да, вот желтенькие, смотри. Их хорошо снимать. Что их...
Вот эти, глянь, носы, головы повсовывали.
Ага.
I said SpongeBob. If I can say SpongeBob, you can say seal.
Now here at the aquarium, we do feed them a mixed and varied diet. It totals around 6,000 calories. They both get about 10 pounds each a day of herring, squid, and smelt. Good. The type of training method we use here is called operant conditioning, also known as positive reinforcement. The way it works is if we ask for a behavior and they do it correctly, then they get reinforced both vocally and with fish. Good. And then the way it works, if they don't do the behavior, they just flat out refuse to do it, or if they just do it incorrectly or do a different behavior, then we just simply ignore them. There's no real punishment for them. Good. These are endemic and endangered. Endemic meaning that they're only found in the Hawaiian Islands. Right now, there's about 12 to 1,300 of them out in the wild, but and most of their population resides largely in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. And those islands are located about 1,200 miles northwest of the island of Hawaii. So you may have noticed that they do look very different from each other. Maka has this green coloration on him, and then Nuka is nice and shiny and pretty dark right now. This is green algae. So it just grows on them right before they're going to molt. They do have a catastrophic molt, that's what it's called. And it happens annually. So every year they go through a huge molt where they lose all of their hair. And then once they're fully molted, then they look like Nuka over there. And they're nice and shiny, and their coat is all new. Good. 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 Now these guys are known as true seals, like I mentioned before. They often are mixed up with sea lions. So there are three huge differences between the two species, three main differences. So the first difference is if you look about 3 inches behind each of their eyes, there's a small pinhole opening, and that leads to their internal hearing structure. Good. So they lack that external ear flap, much like we have. Whereas sea lions, they do have an external ear flap. Both species, they have very good hearing. It's just true seals have lack that external ear flap. Good. Good. Good.
No, just sit right there next to him. Hey, girl.
Does anyone want to guess the second difference between true seals and sea lions?
Smile.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Don't be shy. You want to think about it for a little bit? There's 3, so we're only on the second one. Anyone else want to give it a shot for the second difference? Good. All right, well, the second difference between true seals and sea lions is the way they move on land. True seals, like the Hawaiian monk seal, undulate on their bellies. Maka's going to demonstrate for you guys here. He undulates on his belly, much like a large inchworm. Good. And they do have very short, stubby front flippers, so they can't hold their weight up for very long. As you can see, it's pretty hard for them. Good. But sea lions, on the other hand, they have very strong front flippers, and they're pretty much double the size of true seals' flippers. And they can walk around very easily on land. They can pretty much walk around on all 4s. Good. So then this third difference, anyone want to take a shot at that one? You think of one yet? Good. Water. The first difference is their ears. The second difference is the way they move on land. And the third difference has to do with the way they move again. Good. But somewhere else, not on land.
Oh.
Yep.
In water.
In the water. Good job. Good. So if you watch Maka here, he'll demonstrate for you how he swims. True seals, like Maka, They move in a side-to-side or a sculling-like manner. Good. So they use their hind flippers for their propulsion and their front flippers for steering purposes. Whereas sea lions, they move in the complete opposite way. They use their front flippers, their little front flippers for their propulsion and their hind flippers for steering purposes. Good. So they're completely opposite. Good. Good.
Так она проверяет, наверное, послушание.
Good.
Обучает.
Good. Good. Good.
Лапушками, и она так делает. Вот.
Good. So at one point in time, there were 3 different types of monk seal out in the wild. The Hawaiian monk seal that you see here, as I mentioned before, there are about 12 to 1,300 of them out in the wild. So they are endangered. Good. Good.
То, что называют
But the
морские львы еще и
25. But the main difference, what was I talking about? Oh, 3 different types of monk seal. The Hawaiian monk seal that you see here, and the Mediterranean monk seal. That in 1997 there was a viral outbreak that wiped out about half of their population. So sadly, there's only around 500 of them left out in the wild. And the third type of monk seal is the Caribbean monk seal. Sadly, they haven't been sighted since 1952, so they've been recently declared extinct. So those are the 3 types of monk seal. A lot of people only know that of the Hawaiian monk seal. There are 3 of them, as I said: the Hawaiian monk seal, the Mediterranean monk seal, and the Caribbean monk seal. Good. 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 Do you guys have any questions at this point? Be happy to answer them for you. Yeah?
Do they fight?
Do they fight? These 2 guys? Sometimes they do. Yuka over there with Amber, he tends to be more dominant, so he likes to take over the show, and he's kind of territorial, so he likes to kind of boss Maka around, but they do get in fights from time to time. But you guys probably, if you're here from the beginning of the announcement, from the beginning of the feeding and training session, they made an announcement right before we came out. And these guys go nuts over just hearing the announcement because they know it's feeding time. So a lot of the time, Nuka will try and shove Maka back into the water. So Nuka is a lot more dominant, and they do fight sometimes. Good. Any other questions? Yeah? How do we train them? Well, what we do here is called positive reinforcement. So if we tell them to do a behavior, good, like this is a behavior, him to touch his flipper to his nose, and if he does it correctly, I tell him good, and I give him fish. So that's how we train them. We just ask for different behaviors over and over again, and then eventually they'll learn the behavior, and then we'll give them fish. Any other questions? You see Nuka kind of acting up a little bit. That's pretty normal during their molting season. He is going through his molt still. He's on the last stage of his molt. So they are a little bit more, they're less active, and they like to, I don't know, act up during the session. Good. You're pretty lethargic sometimes too.
I still have about 30.
20. We are counting out the number of fish that we have in our buckets. We're telling each other back and forth what how many fish we have. So you'll just hear us calling out random numbers. And that's just to ensure that we end at the same time so that there's no competition over the food. Good. Good. The monks have to be careful when we're out here with them. And out in the wild, they are protected by different laws. And you can't just go up to them and pet them because they could bite you and hurt you. So you have to be really careful. You're supposed to stay really far away from them. Because usually when they call out, they're going to have a baby. So they call out for that. And then sometimes there's sharks in the water, so they like to get away from them. So if you scare them and make them go back to the water, they're going to come with the shark.
No yellow cane. That's a butterfly.
15.
The butterfly.
So they're hoping to go in with your friends because they might have to go up and with the tourists because they might have to stay out for a while.
Им так здесь по кругу сделали, и они по кругу плавают и плавают. Когда же их кормить, если они все время по кругу?
А ты это снял что-то?
Крылышко твое подухо.